Hello and thank you for joining another edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the Hangout, President Buhari insists on Ibrahim Magu as EFCC chairman, resents his name to the Senate for confirmation, states back FG's probe on the use of bailout funds, and later on the Hangout, federal government advises Nigerians to avoid Libya's death penalty for illegal migration. Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mustafa Ogunshaki will be hanging out with me today. So if you're ready, let the Hangout start now. President Muhammadu Buhari has renominated Ibrahim Magu for confirmation as the chairman of the anti-graft agency, the EFCC. Buhari's renomination.
We have a Kiplagata, is coming. We have I have Timbali Alice here. She's coming. So far now we have about 14 countries that are coming, mostly the Kenyans, the Ethiopians, and we have this year 2 artists from Uganda. We have 2 from Tanzania. We have 2 from South Africa. We have 1 guy from Malaysia. I think the field is well covered. Also from neighboring countries, Cameroon. They are all there. We're trying to have a very clean start this year. Last year we were supposed to start by 7. We're a few minutes late, and that causes a lot of athletes agitating and pushing. But this year, by God's grace, we're going to start on time, right on time, dead on time. And also the issue of the finish, we're going to use a lot of barriers to actually barricade people from encroaching to the finish area. I want to have a very clean finish. Once you can achieve that, I think we're okay. We didn't have too many problems along the route.
I double as the Secretary General of AFN, at the same time the Secretary of the main organizing committee. And while we are fully involved is to ensure that this marathon is organized in line with international best practices and in line with IWA rules and regulation. Anything short of that would not be acceptable. And that is why we are working together with all necessary committees to ensure that we organize a befitting historic event.
We have a Kiplagata, is coming. We have I have Timbali Alice here. She's coming. So far now we have about 14 countries that are coming, mostly the Kenyans, the Ethiopians, and we have this year 2 artists from Uganda. We have 2 from Tanzania. We have 2 from South Africa. We have 1 guy from Malaysia. I think the field is well covered. Also from neighboring countries, Cameroon, they are all there. We're trying to have a very clean start this year. Last year we were supposed to start by 7. We're a few minutes late, and that causes a lot of athletes agitating and pushing. But this year, by God's grace, we're going to start on time, right on time, dead on time. And also the issue of the finish, we're going to use a lot of barriers to actually barricade people from encroaching to the finish area. I want to have a very clean finish. Once you can achieve that, I think we're okay. We didn't have too many problems along the route.
I double as the Secretary General of AFN, at the same time the Secretary of the main organizing committee. And while we are fully involved is to ensure that this marathon is organized in line with international best practices and in line with IWA rules and regulation. Anything short of that would not be acceptable. And that is why we are working together with all necessary committees to ensure that we organize a befitting historic event.
We have a Kiplagata, is coming. We have I have Timbali Alice here. She's coming. So far now we have about 14 countries that are coming, mostly the Kenyans, the Ethiopians, and we have this year 2 artists from Uganda. We have 2 from Tanzania. We have 2 from South Africa. We have 1 guy from Malaysia. I think the field is well covered. Also from neighboring countries, Cameroon, they are all there. We're trying to have a very clean start this year. Last year we were supposed to start by 7. We're a few minutes late, and that causes a lot of athletes agitating and pushing. But this year, by God's grace, we're going to start on time, right on time, dead on time. And also the issue of the finish, we're going to use a lot of barriers to actually barricade people from encroaching to the finish area. I want to have a very clean finish. Once you can achieve that, I think we're okay. We didn't have too many problems along the route.
I double as the Secretary General of AFN, at the same time the secretary of the main organizing committee. And why we are fully involved is to ensure that this marathon is organized in line with international best practices and in line with IWA rules and regulation. Anything short of that would not be acceptable. And that is why we are working together with all necessary committees to ensure that we organize a befitting historic event.
Magu was the #1 investigator in the EFCC team that no Ribadu put together. So if the president, so he has experience about how the job is done. If the president is convinced that this is the person, the best person for the job that he can find, it may not be the best in Nigeria that he can find, but this, if he's convinced that this is the best that he can find, then he should just ignore the Senate.
The presidency actually renominated Ibrahim Magu, and we are expecting the verdict of the Senate on that. Mustafa,
well,
must it be Ibrahim Magu?
Well,
since his nomination has been rejected by the Senate, I thought the normal thing, because of the security reports, both the damning one and I thought the Mr. President would just play safe and look for another person.
If Mr. President had done that, in my own opinion, that would have been chickening out, and I don't think that is proper. I think I support Mr. President's move in this matter, representing the same person, that this is the man that I think I can work with. Now, if there are intrigues and loopholes here and there, I think it is still the responsibility of Mr. President to align all forces together and get what he wants from the Senate. Provided it's not a do or die affair between the executive and the legislative arm. But if you ask me, over a period of time, what has been happening is like the Senate and the presidency are out at war on each other.
Working on purposes.
And Magu, as far as I'm concerned, is just a victim of the outplay of the intrigues that is going on. Not that he is bad in himself, no. But somewhere, somehow, even within the presidency,
but the Senate did not manufacture the security report.
They didn't.
The security report came from the DSS. I would disagree
with my brother here that you have two reports. Why would the DSS send two reports in the same time? The DSS is an agency of the federal government. Why send two reports on the same person within the same executive arm of government to the Senate? Is that even
and knowing that the person is a nominee
exactly,
of
that even in itself is in bad faith.
Yes.
It's in bad faith. The DSS deliberately want to cause chaos here for whatever reason. But then Mr. President should check his house again. Mr. President should check his house again. You see, what is playing out now, already, I'm sorry to say all this, but the truth of the matter is that presently, the record on obedience of rule of law of Mr. President is bad enough. There have been orders of court, and people are beginning to see Mr. President from the point of view that he doesn't like to obey or play by the rules. So if not, something is not done, and this thing, and he forces his way in this matter, then there's people will say again that Mr. President just want to have his way at all costs. So I think even now, against every provocation, he's our leader, he's our father. I expect him to still dialogue more with the leadership of the Senate on these matters.
There's no smoke without fire. The Senate cannot just wake up one day to say we are not going to confirm Ibrahim Magu if we are not running a divided presidency. That ab initio, this was a nominee of Mr. President, and some people in the presidency actually came together with the DSS and got that report out. What does that speak of? We've not had it like this in a long time.
Yes, I was embarrassed that the DSS will come up with that kind of report. Magu is someone that I have known for years. And when you start accusing Magu of corruption, the first thing that comes to my mind is that you need to get your head examined. Because you see, we cannot tag every Nigerian. We can't brand every Nigerian corrupt. It's just not possible. There are still some decent Nigerians around. The indecent ones amongst us, imagine that everyone is like them. You say, oh, you know, they tried to do it to Nuhu Ribadu. Nuhu Ribadu got all those millions of dollars from what's his name? Ibori. And they were claiming that he tampered with some of the money. Somebody who filmed it. Somebody
remember Martina Najemba, this Brazilian fraud case.
So it's not every Nigerian who has a price. The mistakes some people make is,
$15 million
to imagine that
cash.
every Nigerian is greedy, every Nigerian is corrupt. No. And we are saying, look at the way even the civil society organizations, the solidarity with Nuhu Ribadu, with Magu is unprecedented. Not even under Nuhu Ribadu did we get this. Because it's someone that they've worked with over the years. It's someone that they can trust. You know? It's not flashy. You can say, oh, Lamode was very flashy, and you can start saying all kinds of things about it. But this fellow was not like that. He just wants to do his job. The finance is not even there. He just wants to get the job done. Fantastic investigator. That's his strength. So to come out now, DSS, now you brought this report and then another one. The president did the right thing. Get this guy investigated. I understand the Professor Shibajo and others and Isesage were involved in the investigation led by Abubakar Malami, the Attorney General of the Federation. And they found this guy blameless. What the Senate should have done in the beginning was to give him a chance to defend himself.
Jide, hold your thought there. Let's quickly pay these bills. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout from Television Continental here in Lagos. Welcome back. Still Journalist Hangout. And Jide, what do we expect from this Senate? The president has stuck to his gun, sticking to his gun, and he has represented the name of Ibrahim Magu.
Yes.
What if is rejected again?
They should continue to present until they get tired. Obasanjo did it and it worked. That's what I said on December 15. The Obasanjo kept presenting Boris Ade. They didn't like Boris Ade for reasons best known to them, you know. Obasanjo kept presenting until they got tired of rejecting Boris Ade and they left the old man alone. So, if the president is convinced that Magu is still the best man for the job, because his integrity is at stake. From your own house, from your own homestead, you brought out a candidate for the EFCC job. And the people working under you are now, you know, working in cahoots with some people in the Senate to ensure that the nominee of the president, they are staff of the president, aides of the president, working to ensure that a nominee that the president made does not become the EFCC chairman. So the president has done the right thing, represent. But I don't think that if the Senate didn't do the right thing because they didn't give him a chance to defend himself. We know why. Because some of them are in court with the EFCC. Now, there are two reports. You chose to go for the negative one to disqualify this man. Now that negative report has been investigated and thrown away by a presidential investigative panel headed by the Attorney General of the Federation. If you think that all those things that they said about Magu were true, if you are convinced that those things were true, then come out in the open, you, the Senate, and prove to us. They said that he was living above his means, staying in a 40 million a year rented apartment, you know. It turned out that it was the FCDA that rented the apartment on behalf for him. So if you in the federal capital, for example, we all know how accommodation problem is. Some people will be working for months and months, they won't find accommodation. Or when they find, they won't be able to find a suitable one. Now, an agency of government helps to find accommodation for the EFCC chairman. On the basis of that now, you want him disqualified. I mean, ridiculous claims that they made against this man. And you didn't allow him to defend himself. You didn't even allow him to face the press. You hid him, you got him out of the area secretly. So it is wrong. So what they need to do now is, yeah, let's use now we have 2 reports. The one from Abubakar Malami, and then the other favorable report that the DSS has. So it's 2-1 now. Magu should go ahead. 2-1 win in the English Premiership is 3 points.
3 points.
Certainly, I don't think I will differ a little from my brother here. You know, the last has not been heard about this matter. And I think, Mr. President, I will advise that Mr. President gets very, very matured on this matter. If you look at the circumstances of what has happened, particularly in the last month, in December last year, the issue of the Secretary of the Federal Government, the Magu issue, and the visit of the Senate APC caucus to the leadership of the APC, the ruling party, you have thought that if you read all these things together, then you know that there's more that is on this. I can assure you that if this matter is going to be pushed further, further truths will start to come out. Investigative issues will begin to come out. Because the integrity, as far as the Senate is concerned, their integrity is at stake now. The integrity of the presidency is at stake. Who is going to blink first? What do they have in their arsenals? What are the secrets that they are trying to keep? In the course of all these things. What is, yes.
Yeah, but the Senate is saying that the base is
on the security
report. On the security
so they have to latch on that.
Fine. You see, you see what is going to happen.
Let's look at the
You know what is going to happen? If the Senate wants to do it, I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here. They put Magu on the something now. Let me come and answer some questions.
Yes, I feel so. I feel so. Let them
and the moment that is done, only God knows what is going to come out.
We want to see that.
It should come on a live TV plenary.
It is an EFCC chairman who is clean that we want. Let him defend himself. If you are saying that, look, somebody flew in an aircraft owned by somebody who is corrupt, it's you saying that now. It's you saying that. It is not all the time that such claims are found to be true. It's you saying it's corrupt.
I wanted to ask you about this inter-agency rivalry that we have. As in, even with the arrest of the judges and everything, before that time, we've been saying, between the DSS and EFCC, they've not been enjoying much relationship even within this administration. What do you think is at play here?
It's difficult for me to say that they do not enjoy, that they have a frosty relationship. Yes, people have said, oh, the DSS, that the EFCC said, look, you had no right to go and arrest judges and all that. Well, I didn't hear Ibrahim Magu say that. You know, Nigerians are fond of concocting and hawking lies. It's what so many of our people do. The other day they said
on the social media.
Yes, they said the EFCC discovered the money in a Sokewe pit. No, Ibrahim Magu came out to say it's a lie, that they never found any money in a Sokewe pit. And when you are reading sometimes, up to tomorrow, you still hear Nigerians, including those who are supposed to be educated, making reference to something that never happened.
Unfortunately. And they carried
it never
that
happened.
Pit.
And you
and
said,
Magu came to Lagos to speak with us here.
He said there was nothing like that.
You know why it is like that? You know why it is like that? Why the reason for all these things, all these rumors, lies, and all that is because EFCC itself allowed it. They allows it. You know why? The modus operandi of EFCC, I still don't agree.
Okay, let me quickly take this caller. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Paul from Ogun State.
Yeah, I'm calling from UK.
Why
Yeah, please, I really want to contribute a little to what you're saying.
Where is Paul calling from?
UK, United Kingdom.
United Kingdom, not Ogun State.
United Kingdom, I'm coming from UK.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Please, I really want to commend Jide. I've been watching him all the while you people do this program. I want him to continue to be objective. He has been objective in everything, the way I've been watching him, so that most of his statements and issues go straight to the point. Let him continue to do it, because he's helping most of us who are here, that there are some Nigerians who are not sentimental on issues. There are some Nigerians who are very, 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 very straight to points. Like the guy is sitting there with, he's trying to mix up politics with points of fact. Jide is telling us.
Paul, don't attack any of my guests. Make your comments.
So I want to commend him. Let him continue. He's not only.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I watch him always. So I want him to continue. Last week I watched him, and the other 2 weeks ago I watched him. So let him continue. I like it.
Thank you, Paul.
And the way he does his things.
Apparently, Paul just called to comment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul, from the United
I won't
Kingdom.
change. I'm too old to change.
Now, gentlemen, the fight against corruption.
You were talking about whether
I was talking about the
Yes.
modus operandi
Yes.
of the
You said
EFCC.
let's address the.
Please, let me just quickly mention this. EFCC, virtually every country now has an arm or the other that does what EFCC does. In South Africa, they call them the scorpions. You understand me? What they do is to investigate you thoroughly before anybody even knows what is happening. By the time they come out with their report,
You can't really go free.
there's no way you can really go free.
We have a watertight case.
You
know
don't base your investigation, or the arrest of people or whatever on petitions. You know what I mean? Without going deep.
We have talked about that many
Don't do
times.
that.
Yeah.
For as long as EFCC continue to base
But
this
the
investigation on
issue-
petition,
the issue
people
is
will
really
always
about-
allude a lot of things.
No.
We've had this.
But
we
the
find
issue is
that,
about Magu now.
You know?
We know that their processes are wrong. We talked about that, and that's why most of those cases, when they especially
Take it
with
to
the
court,
big
they
people,
don't get conviction.
They
Exactly.
lose. We
Exactly.
talked about that already. It's not because one hates the EFCC. We
No.
want them to do the job better.
No.
But we know that some of their methods are wrong, and those methods are not delivering results for them. But someone has been chosen to be EFCC chairman. You must give him fair hearing, because you expect even people that EFCC take to court to get fair hearing. So if the EFCC chairman, if there are allegations against him, you must permit him to defend himself. That is the point. I've heard that, that they are quarreling. DSS said, no, look, I have the right to invade judges' homes and all that. One thing is, there is no evidence that there is a rift. And if there is a rift, in the interest of Nigeria, they must work together, because look at the money that I would say recovered from the oil ministry, since the woman is saying that it does not belong to her. I want to be fair to her as best as I can. Recovered, stolen money recovered, $153.3 million. He can do a lot, Ayo. And it is under this EFCC leadership that this was done. There is no way that I will not support a man that helps us to recover that humongous sum of money. More than 44 billion. Or
78 billion.
Okay. I don't even have the figure. It's a lot of money. It can change lives. You know? So let us just give this guy fair hearing. I don't know what this SNA will say tomorrow. I can't put anything beyond them. given the people that I know who are there. I can't put anything
We'll come and take our last take on this.
They just have to be fair to the man.
We'll be right back after this breather. Stay with us. Gentlemen, on reaching home stretch on this now, the fight against corruption now, because since the this nomination and renomination saga started last December, I didn't see Magu in any public forum, and he has not been talking.
He went to donate food to IDPs.
He has been very, very quiet, and we know that automatically this will affect his morale, as in the confirmation or non-confirmation. With this now, what do we expect from the EFCC?
Well, I foresee people trying to take advantage of the present situation. I mean, if you can read how things are well, I foresee some of these, some of the accused persons that EFCC is trying to investigate, or maybe we want to arrange in court.
Strong senators.
Or even strong senators, they might be senators, they might be politicians, they might be governors. I foresee them raising objection on the basis of this, that if it is Magu, that the Senate has it cannot be in charge of the organization that is trying them. Whether it's going to work or not, but everybody will want to put up a defense or the other, and they will see it as, look, the EFCC lacks leadership now. For whatever it is worth, you may see people coming up with that kind of but I will advise, for as long as you could, you just said that he has been very, very silent. His job needs that silence. Honestly, it's not to be seen moving around or doing this. I'm even surprised that you said that he went to donate. It's not a politician that is going to donate.
No, he's just showing his kindness.
Whether his office portrays that, I don't know. But I think it's just concentrate.
And he's not a man of many words.
I will advise that he concentrates on the job. I will advise the media men not to be trading any something. Concentrate on their job. When Nigerians,
we need stories.
Yes, we need stories.
So we
come
must
out with stories.
so
if Nigerians see the positive side of the work that he's doing, everybody will support. And Nigerians can force the Senate to do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, I wish we have the power of recall.
Honestly.
Because the process of recall
is not as cumbersome as it is in our electoral act.
A lot of things are cumbersome in this system. A lot of things.
That's why we've not been able to recall any senator or any lawmaker.
A lot of things. That's why some people just cross carpet anyhow.
Some years back, the people of Plateau State wanted to recall Ibrahim Mantu. They would have done it easily. But it was the INEC that frustrated it. Because INEC must certify the process.
Yes, all the signatures and everything.
Yeah, so it was INEC that frustrated because he was Obasanjo's boy. Ibrahim Mantu was Obasanjo's boy. He was extremely unpopular at home because of the role he played in the declaration of emergency at that time. So we have the laws. By our law, we should be able to recall senators who are working against the interest of our people. But I can tell you that it's difficult, if not impossible, to do it here in Nigeria. So the Senate does not have a choice. There are two reports, one favorable, the other one unfavorable. Now the one unfavorable has been subjected to scrutiny, and Ibrahim Magu has been passed fit for the job by the Abubakar Malami committee. So they should just go ahead and let him do the job.
All right, moving on now. A statement issued by the Director of Information of the Ministry of Finance, Salisu Dambata, recently confirmed the appointment of 8 auditing firms hired to evaluate the compliance rate of state governments with the implementation of the 22 Fiscal Sustainability Plan, FSP. A total of 35 states had in June 2016 signed to comply with the actions contained in this FSP plan. Only Lagos State backed out of this agreement. Before the conditional loan was released by the federal government, about 27 states were unable to pay the salaries of their workers. The decision of the federal government to audit the utilization of the 150 billion stimulus package disbursement to states mid last year has received the backing of the commissioners of finance in 36 states of the federation. What is this about, Babajide?
Well,
FG hires audit firms to monitor funds given to the states.
yes, they are talking about the second bailout. That this one initiated by the federal government. The first bailout, some states didn't take. States like Anambra, even Kano, they didn't take the first bailout. But this other one, the second one, most states, got involved. And the Minister of Finance, the woman who likes to speak like a white woman, said clearly.
Queen's English.
Maybe that's serenade. That serenades you, no? She said it. Adeosun said, see, we are going to put some checks in place. We are not just going to release money. There are some conditions that will be met. And the states signed up
To this
knowing full well that, look, the way you disburse this money, what you do with this money will be subjected to scrutiny.
will be monitored.
So that's exactly where we are. They are ready now. If you read the ICPC report on the first bailout, you see that some governors acted irresponsibly. And that's why, as we speak, some of them are still owing salaries. They are still owing
Some of them did not need the bailout at all.
And
they collected.
They collected. Meanwhile,
And
the
it was
president
mismanaged.
said that it should be only those
Who are owing
salaries, because the bailout was originally
just to offset.
to offset salaries. Some of the governors diverted it to projects. Diverted it to projects against the
And left
wish,
the salary.
against the wish of Mr. President. Once you divert, most of those governors used part of the money for projects and other things. It was meant to pay salaries squarely, but they refused. Some of them were moving the money from bank to bank. In fact, a governor in the East, who is notorious for noise making, took the bailout fund and put part of it in a microfinance bank.
I remember.
I hope.
Yes.
I hope none of them
Some
played
of the
MMA.
money
Honestly.
some of the money put in some of the money was put in the account of government house. You are supposed to put it in the salary account and then pay civil servants. You are just taking this money, using this money for purposes that it was not meant for. So it's so bad. So that's why this one, Adeosun says, see, we will follow it up and find out how you spend this money. I think that was meant to get them to behave themselves. Whether they behave themselves or not is something that we cannot really say. But already across the states, you find NGOs, you find civil society organizations complaining that some particular governors diverted the bailout funds. So,
Mustafa, there are some of these governors that we got to know and later that they didn't even need this bailout. They collected it. And it was used for another thing entirely. And those people that were given bailouts did not put it into, the
exact thing that it was made
yes.
for. And they have to face the penalty. Because, we have to be financially responsible, whether we like it or not. And if you know what is happening in several states in this country,
wow,
you don't want to know the poverty, striking poverty that people are going through. There are civil servants that for 8 months they are not received salaries. So you wonder where was the money that was provided for this. There are some people, thank God we're in Lagos, where we have a strength of population and all that stuff. But some people are not that lucky, particularly in the northern part of it, of the country.
Let me quickly take Sukomi. Sukomi is calling us from Lagos. Chukudi is calling us from Lagos. Hello,
Yeah,
Chukudi.
good evening.
Chukudima.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I have a problem. My problem is that Nigeria is at crossroads because we cannot do anything to all the evil that is happening in the country. We are seeing everything happening, but nobody seems to be able to do anything. Buhari is a one-man gang. He is the only one interested in this fight against corruption. The rest of people around him are not interested in it. That's why they are working against it. Because all the reason why politicians go to the politics is to steal our money. And so when there's just one man who does not want to steal and he wants to stop, they are working one way or the other to stop you. What can we do? That is why some people advocate that militaries should come and take over and hand over to Buhari back. And
Well,
thank
you, Chukudima. Thank you for your contribution, Chukudima. We certainly don't want to go back to those days.
Do you listen to him?
That is why
So, as I was saying, everybody has to be financially responsible, particularly when you are a signatory to, okay, this is what we are going to use this money for. But beyond all this, I think every state must be encouraged to go back to fiscal freedom. You know, produce your own money, produce your own resources, and all this handling of bailouts to people it's not going to solve anything.
I want to make Lagos,
it doesn't make any sense.
A reference point. Lagos backed out from all these arrangements, and if you see the giant strides of
Lagos is making,
Lagos is putting on this their lake rice and the creativity
is
put
particularly
into governance.
It's particularly so bad in some states that local government officers have not received anything at all. You seize local government funds.
They use the funds.
You use it. There's even an irresponsible governor in the past, in the Southwest governor, that said that he's doing illegal rather than spending money on health centers. He was packing Panadol and Bonvita for Obas and all that something. With local government funds, is as ridiculous as that.
Okay, let me go for my final break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. Stay with us. Well, moving on. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Abike Dabiru Erewa, has warned Nigerian migrants to avoid desperate journeys to Libya. Dabiru Erewa also warned against illegal entry into Libya, noting that such immigrants, when caught and convicted, will get death penalty. The presidential aide also said Libya has been executing illegal immigrants for years now. What do we make of this sad story? The number of Nigerians that lived short of our country by road and wanting to cross to Europe, I think part of the route is that you have to go through the Libya route.
Niger, you drive through the desert. Go through Nigeria, there is a place called Agadez. So from there, they link Libya. From Libya, they are expected to be taken to Europe, maybe Spain, Malta, you know. Once you get to Libya, you expect that you can easily access Europe by sea, you know. But a lot of them get stuck in Libya. Like women, for example. Those who are into the business of human trafficking, they will come to Lagos, for example, and toast in inverted commas, paint a rosy picture, you know, of Europe to them. They will tell them that they will travel through Libya. These people, when they are being driven through the desert, they encounter militants on the way. Militants and people who capture other people for slavery. They encounter them on the way. They fight through, you know, to gain. They fight against one another just to gain access to people who are being taken to Libya. Sometimes you survive, sometimes you do not. Majority of the people do not survive. Most times They fall down,
20%.
they become weak, they fall down in the desert, and that's there. Nobody looks back. And when they get to Libya, the woman who has spoken to you about, who has painted a rosy picture of Europe, you discover that she's actually out to exploit you and make a prostitute out of you. So now to gain freedom from her, you need to
Get in touch
with your family, who will be sending money. She could say, okay, you can only secure your freedom with the sum of 2 million naira. So your family will be sending money. You that your family, they are poor.
Back there.
That you wanted to go abroad so that you can find some money, more money to take care of them. It's the same family now that will now be sending money
abroad,
so that to free you from captivity, you know, and sex slavery. So I don't know why Nigerians are putting themselves through this kind of misery. Yes, things are tough in our land. Things are bad.
Very bad.
But it does not mean that we should subject ourselves to the kind of risks that many people are subjecting themselves to. I've seen pictures of Nigerians, of black people, being led, you know, in long files, maybe being led to slaughter in Libya. And of course, Libya is like a failed state now, because two governments are in power. Since the West irresponsibly chased Gaddafi away, they left the country in a bad state and left. This is what they do. You wanted regime change. Yes, you've achieved regime change, but you've left Libya worse than you met it. Because Libya was a well-run country.
Terrorism, ISIS,
now ISIS has seen Libya more like its home now.
Breeding
so it's a battle. They will go and kidnap Christians, take them to the sea, and then execute them. This is what is happening now.
Slaughter.
The last time that they slaughter people like that, some Nigerians were involved. So I think that this is what because some pictures, I saw some pictures, and attached to it was a voice note that Nigerians should stay away from Libya, that they are just wasting black people, killing black people for fun. And there were pictures of people, hundreds of black people being led to God knows where. So I think Abike has now responded to say, see, there's so much danger in going to Libya. If you value your life, people come around to come and tell us that Libya is just a step to Spain, a step to Malta, a step to those two countries. Do not go with them, because you may eventually pay with your life.
Now, if you check the number of these refugees or these people that they travel by road or they enter Libya and they want to cross to Europe and their boat capsized, Mediterranean, and they have a boat mishap, you see that 60% of them are Nigerians. What is responsible for? Are things this bad?
Honestly, if you are going to say the truth, Nigerians have never been this hopeless. A lot of people they are not seeing anything.
The light at the end of the tunnel.
Some have given up. Some, believe me, people are committing suicide every day. Whether we like it or not, it's happening every day.
There are reports already.
People, we are seeing families that the man will commit suicide because he looks at the children. There's no way he could even feed
or fend for them. It
is that bad now. So if you see young, agile people trying to run away, this is what they are trying to run away from. But I think if you are going to even run away, mustn't you use your sense? Must you now, you still have life. Yes, you want to take a risk, but can't you take calculated risks? If you still have life, there is still hope. But how can, it beats me how people can embark on a hopeless journey. Because indeed, this journey is hopeless. And that's why I think whatever government can do, they should please do something to attract these youth, these young people.
Beyond just discouraging them to
go.
Not to go to Libya.
What are you offering them?
Job creation and all that.
Life cannot be in a vacuum. There can't be a vacuum. If they still have, at least, if I survive this is what is going to happen.
Hope.
That is hope.
To hold on to.
If they have a similar hope here, would they embark on that journey? And that's why I think whatever government may be doing the responsibility of government is, number one, to the welfare of the people, particularly this young generation. Most of the people that are running away now, they are the younger people, except in recent times that you see people even in the 50s trying to relocate, selling their properties and trying to relocate out of the country. These things are happening every day and we cannot run away from it. And I think mostly the economic situation is what is responsible.
There's no how we can reach out to you said Libya is almost like a failed state now. There's no how we can reach out to the government of Libya officially, to make this, to lodge a complaint. Who are these people perpetrating this act?
No, who are you going to reach out to? Is it ISIS?
Just
or which government? No, talking seriously.
I saw the people leading those guys. I thought we would find those pictures. The people leading black people to God knows where. I saw them, they were hooded. So you ask yourself why. It's because they have something, they plan to do something sinister. Otherwise, why must you be wearing a mask? Just so that people will not see your face or what? Policemen don't have to wear masks. So the issue is, if the law is against illegal migration, I'm sure it is because of the way and manner ISIS fighters are streaming into Libya. Maybe they are trying to check the stream of ISIS fighters into Libya because they are the ones causing trouble in the country. Maybe that's why they came up with that law. But at the end of the day, a lot of the people coming in who are not terrorists, who have no affiliation with ISIS, who are just Nigerians looking for greener pasture, they end up being caught in the web of this illegal immigration law. And then at the end of the day, just as Abike Dabiri warned, if you are caught, then you face the death penalty. Why should you leave Nigeria to go and get killed?
Another thing that I'm even thinking of.
That manner.
And even Mustafa, on the final note, even you find out that some of these countries, Nigeria as a country is even better than some of these countries.
Believe me sincerely.
And people just live there. They'll just take a plunge and
majority of the young boys riding Okada in Lagos are from Niger. They are all over the place. Go to Apapa.
Even Benin
Republic. Come to Keja here. Go to all over the country. We don't streamline. We don't even know the kind of people that are entering into our own borders. Yet our people are going out and being killed.
So bad.
I think, I don't know, because since there's no government in Libya now, what are we going to do? Who are we going to relate with?
Jude, your final take on this? Okay.
Yes, I think my advice is Nigerians should not undertake a journey to Libya through that desert. It's extremely dangerous, and most people who embark on that journey don't come back to tell the story. And when you are alive to tell the story, it's a sad story to tell. So if it's pointless putting yourself through that pain and eventually getting sentenced to death because you are an illegal migrant. So it's really pointless. Let's stay in Nigeria and find a way to survive.
To make it work within. So the final verdict here is stay away from Libya. I want to thank you, Mustafa Ogunshaki. Thank you so much. And Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Thank you. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another exciting episode of the program. You can watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozuba. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.